I've said this before, I legitimately feel terrible for young men in the modern age because the internet is constantly contaminating their mind with what it means to be good looking or what it takes or what you need to be successful as a man. There's so much I could talk about on this subject here because the young male audience is highly monetizable, so there's a lot of these ghouls that have recognized that they can get a ton of doubloons by creating a problem and selling the solution to this audience about like, you need to be having sex 3 times a day, otherwise you're a complete failure and you're less of a man for it. If your jawline isn't chiseled, if you don't have hunter eyes and a cantle tilt, you will actually never see a boobie in your life. I'm your only hope. I can be your savior if you buy my course. Otherwise, get ready for a pathetic life of virginity, you swine. And it even extends into the fitness industry. I'll blow the lid off of this one right here, so get ready. Almost every fitness influencer you see online is on gear, but some of them pretend that they're not, saying that they're natty, and they push supplements and other products onto their audience under the belief that they can look like them, even though it's impossible because they're not on the same gear or anything. But they'll still say shit like, hey, got these new pills in, it's, eucalyptus urine extract, so boof one of these in the morning and you have a 6-pack by night. You can use code WAYMIN at checkout. And it's all just a bunch of fucking dirty barnacles. It's all just a huge money-making scheme. The young male audience right now, I feel, is more insecure than ever. And that means that they're buying more bullshit than ever. And the one I want to focus on today is looksmaxing in particular. Curtis Connor recently did a video on looksmaxing, and it's a banger. I think he covered it really well. However, there was one very crucial component of looksmaxing that he decided to sit on the sidelines for and not do. And I don't fully blame him, but I go where men dare to tread. I'm not afraid. He shied away from doing Jelqing. Looksmaxing incorporates Jelqing, depending on whose courses you're buying or whose advice you're following. And Jelqing is an old friend. Well, definitely not a friend. An old arch nemesis of mine. This is an old internet meme from back in like 2009, 2010-ish, I can recall, somewhere in that general ballpark. And fundamentally what it is a penis enlarging exercise where you masturbate a certain way in order to enhance your size over time. Now, for obvious reasons, I can't pull up any video tutorials that demonstrate the technique. I can't show any of the diagrams or any of that go over this advanced maneuver. So we're going to do this the old-fashioned way, old natural. I brought a tool here, a little instrument that we're going to use to showcase the Jelqing jutsu. So there were a couple techniques back in the day. You know what, let me go ahead and give you my origin story with Jelqing, because I actually have a personal connection to it. It's an old friend. Rather, not a friend at all. We weren't on friendly terms. An old arch nemesis. If you've been around the channel for a while, you'll know that when I was really young, I got most of my advice, my life advice, through the internet. Mainly Reddit, a little bit of 4chan as well. And back then, Jelqing was kind of popular as a meme. But no one really subscribed to the belief that it would make your cock bigger or anything like that. Some people did it as a joke, or some people did it because, you had nothing to lose at the time. So there was a few techniques that floated around. I'll showcase both of them on this banana here, my helper. So the most popular at the time was the old hook method. And what you would do is you'd hook one finger around your cock at the base, and then you'd really, hard, slowly go up towards the top of your penis like you were trying to squeeze toothpaste out of the tube, and you would do this for 10 reps, and you'd do this for okay, we didn't need the stem of the banana anyway. We can still continue the demonstration on this part. So you would go through this process for whatever your rep range was. And by the end of it, the idea was it would be stretching the blood vessels and stretching all the tissue in there. So over time, that would be its new norm, like this stretch state. It would grow it over time because it's constantly being forced to stretch. However, there was never any real scientific evidence backing that up. The other big one at the time was you would take like this, and you would go from top and base, and you would kind of like you were playing a fucking small accordion or something. You'd go back and forth, just rubbing it together, and then had a little spillage out the ass end of it. And what would happen over time is the same thing. Again, stretching the blood vessels and the tissue and all that, and supposed to grow your wiener. But as you might imagine, it doesn't really work. It never really worked. There was never any evidence for it other than like anecdotal shit, which I'm pretty sure were just trolls getting people to keep doing this, because what it does do, and what is very well documented, is it damages your penis, and it can actually lead to impotence. And I have a personal story in regards to Jelqing because I have tried it. Like I said, I got most of my advice online, and being an insecure young man, I was miserable. I hated my appearance. I hated pretty much everything about myself. So I thought, why not? I'll give it a fucking whirl. So I did it, and I hurt myself. And I think I told a story not too long ago where I did like a pseudo Jelqing exercise one time and actually had to go to the walk-in clinic because I could no longer piss. Basically what happened is I damaged everything internally in my cock. Like, just threw everything out of whack. It was all cattywampus, and I was no longer able to pee, and it swelled up like a giant fucking head of cauliflower. And that is something that does happen with Jelqing. There's no real right way of doing it. There's ways of doing it that don't hurt you, but nothing really grows your cock through Jelqing. And this has been well known for over a decade. But now, since everyone is so insecure because they're constantly being fed all of this ridiculous information and all of this awful advice and all of these terrible courses from terrible people, it's led to Jelqing being dusted off and being preached as a real thing. So there's a lot of people that legitimately have been Jelqing to try and grow their cock because they're not satisfied with their size. Spoiler alert, no matter how big your dick is, you always want it to be bigger. I'm 6.5 inches and proud, yet I would love if my wiener was a little bit bigger. Every man in the world would. But Jelqing is not going to be the thing that gets you there. And you also don't need it. Despite what a lot of the looksmaxing community tries to indoctrinate the audience into believing, you don't need an 11-inch fucking sledgehammer. You don't need a fucking 15-inch battering ram that the police could use to bust down the door of a crack house. It's once again trying to prey on the insecurities of people online. That is the main thing right now that is generating so much money, and why you see so many of these things popping up frequently. Now, I don't think every single thing about looksmaxing is evil. Like, I do think there are people online that are just sharing generally good advice and calling it looksmaxing. Super simple shit like brushing your teeth, taking a shower, or if you're unsatisfied with your physical body, working out and giving advice on like going to the gym, where to start, things like that. All of that's totally fine. Like, that's all good, positive stuff. Absolutely. Eating healthy, great. But then there is that evil side of it where it starts talking about if you don't have a jawline that could cut glass, you're going to be alone forever because it's the main thing women like, or the hunter eyes instead of the prey eyes, or if your dick isn't huge. And then they start like selling courses on like Jelqmaxxing and, you know, fucking jawline exercises and shit like that. It gets really bad really quick. But anyway, Jelq at your own risk. I personally wouldn't recommend it, but I'm not a doctor. I don't know what's best for you. Maybe you'd see incredible results. Who knows? I think probably not. I think what's likely to happen is you hurt yourself, but if you really are a Jelqing enthusiast, then I'm not going to stop you. I'm not your dad. I'm not going to bust in there and slap the penis out of your hand or anything. You go crazy on it. I just wanted to talk about it a little bit because I could not believe how popular Jelqing had become again. So yeah, that's really about it. Beware of Jelqing. See ya. Friends, I am so deep in the void right now. I am down the rabbit hole of looksmaxing, and I don't know if I can ever get out. I'm starting to believe we really do live in a simulated universe because I am in the darkest corners of this, and I can't believe that this is real life. I'm in the looksmaxing matrix here, and what I see disturbs me. It's an obsession for a lot of people. 10 days ago, I made that video, Beware of Jelqing, where I focused on like the sillier aspects of looksmaxing, though admittedly still dangerous, where a big part of looksmaxing is about your wiener and being insufficient to sexually pleasure a woman, so they recommend Jelqing exercises, which is stretching the penis in dangerous ways that often cause irreversible damage. They'll have you beating your skin flute like it owes you money, fucking pretzeling your cock, sticking it in your own butt, and just doing these like weird accordion-like stretches on your meat that in a lot of cases destroy it in the process. and I was making a video kind of just talking about that and joking about it because Jelqing is something that I'm familiar with because it was an old internet meme and something I also tried when I was young, stupid, and desperate. But when I made that video just 10 days ago, I was at the surface level of Looksmaxxing. I still had my water wingies on and I was above water, but now, brother, I'm a fucking seasoned veteran. I have seen some weird shit with Looksmaxxing and I want to share a little bit of it with you. There is a complete hyperfixation on wiener size in a lot of Looksmaxxing communities where they believe that that is everything. And they spend every waking hour of their day doing all that they can to penis max, like everything they can to stretch and contort, or even drugs in some cases, to increase the size in any way at all, even just like a fucking millimeter, they are doing. And it's really sad because that's like their whole life right now. I found this YouTube channel who for a while now has been posting content pretty much exclusively focused around dropping this arcane knowledge on how to increase your cock size. Like, just look at some of these. The best extender 4.0 is here, and then that doohickey looks like some kind of gadget that Wile E. Coyote would use to try and trap the Roadrunner, like a bear trap for it. And that's supposed to be something for your most sensitive area on the body? Like, my God, please have mercy. And then he does like these interviews with people, so like how women react to giant penis. Like, his whole mentality is all about his cock. And it's, I don't know, like this obsession from not only him, but like the comments is so baffling to me. So you see that video right there? How porn stars blow massive loads? I decided to go to the comments and I saw this. I tried everything to blow bigger loads. Kegels and supplements and drinking 3 or 4 big glasses of celery juice a day. Hydration helps. Drink lots and lots of water. Outside of that, yeah, it's genetics. I've always been a dribbler, and I always wanted to fire rope after rope of semen just like Peter North did. I'm unfamiliar with the work of Peter North, but he speaks about him like he's the Babe Ruth of cum. Now there was a guy who nearly drowned some of his co-stars. He's probably been retired for 10 or 15 years now, but 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, that dude was the GOAT when it came to the old money shot. This dude's got an entire diet around increasing load volume. Why? It's not that important. I mean, I guess it's a cool thing to be able to do if you're fucking dumping DNA by the gallon, like, I guess? But it's really not important enough to start buying supplements for it, drinking 4 glasses of celery juice a day. This man's training like Rocky Balboa, but for cum. Like, brother, it's not that big of a deal. And neither is having an average size willy. Like, if your Johnson isn't pushing 8 inches, it's not the end of the world like a lot of these looksmaxing gurus are trying to scare you into thinking it is. It's not like you're going to be, you know, forced into a life of solitude and, you know, virginity because you have a 5-inch penis or whatever. Like, that's not the case. You need to play with the cards you're dealt. Like, and buying into, like, supplements and the extender medieval torture device, all that kind of shit, it's highly unnecessary.
Penis extender that I can use throughout the day without it interrupting any part of my day. I wanted something that I can simply wear and forget about it. I didn't want to feel it too much. I didn't want it to bother me. Unfortunately, there hasn't been anything like this on the market. And if you're following me for long enough, you realize that I tried so many different ways to rig my own device from using different materials together. However, since now I have the resources and I have the connections to be able to manufacture such device, I present to you the new best all-day stretcher right here. Now, if you want to stretch and make your penis bigger in the most comfortable way, this is it. I guarantee you there's not going to be anything more comfortable than this.
Holy shit, a whatchamahoosit designed to stretch your penis all day? Just trying to fight for a couple millimeters? That is not a battle worth fighting. That is a war worth losing right there. Trying to claw a couple millimeters away from destiny, like trying to defy fate. It's not worth the agony and it's not worth the money for it either. It's just not that important. It really isn't. Though I can't help but giggle at the idea where you wear that strapped to your leg and connected to your schlong and just keep it on all day, constantly stretching. Throughout the video, he talks about how much force it can exert, like 3 to 5 pounds worth of force, depending on how much slack is in the cord. That's a lot. Like, you're gonna probably hurt yourself over time. No doubt in my mind about that. Also, when it's all day, does that mean you also take it, like, to work with you? So, like, you're just walking around the office in your long pants trying to conceal it? They don't know I'm stretch maxing. Or you're walking through Walmart just going to pick up some item and the whole time your cock is just being tugged on by the stretching device. Like, that's yucky. I hate to think about that. It's this fixation that people are being kind of pushed into with things like looksmaxxing becoming so popular, where every single possible insecurity that anyone can ever have is being focused on and highlighted and put on this pedestal where it needs to be fixed. And the only way to fix it is through buying these things or watching these videos and supporting this person who's giving away this information, when that is just not the case. It's leading to people just making themselves miserable all the time. Like I said in the last video, there's a couple of positive things about looksmaxxing on like a very basic level, such as telling people that it's good to brush your teeth, it's good to take a shower, it's good to like fix your hair or dress nice. That's all very positive general advice. That's basically just being a parent to people, to be honest. Like that's not this level. This is where it gets dangerous, and it's really done by bad actors that are peddling shit to you to make money off of your insecurity that they are only exacerbating. It's just a horrible practice of keeping people miserable and always feeling insufficient so that way they're responsive and more susceptible to buying this kind of garbage or subscribing to the people that just keep feeding into this belief. And it, like I said in the last one, it must be really confusing growing up in this kind of landscape right now because it's so prevalent, where you're getting told that, you know, getting laid is extremely important, and in order to get laid, you need to have a six-figure income, you gotta have hunter eyes. If you don't have hunter eyes, well, hope you enjoy no pussy for the rest of your life. You don't have a chance. Just all kinds of awful things. I could sit here and play 1,000 looksmaxxing videos and shit on them, but at the end of the day, I actually just feel bad for the people who are constantly being fed that. Just being told all the reasons why they're ugly and the only ways to fix it are by following these guides or buying these courses or these products. That's just fucking miserable. And then what inevitably happens is you brainwash other people into following this path, and it becomes like a cult, a looksmaxxing cult, where they've bought in and they will never come to terms with the reality that they've been scammed, pretty much. Or they just never realize that the things they have been peddled about, like how important, the cantle tilt is or whatever, really don't matter that much at all. You don't need to be mewing 24 hours a day, mewing in your sleep, in order to get the perfect chiseled jawline, in order to lead a happy, successful life and have a significant other. It's unnecessary, and a lot of times, in pretty much every case, it's a bunch of baloney, a bunch of hooey to begin with. So, it's just that's the reality of it. I was shocked in all of my looksmaxxing deep dives I've done over the last 10 days to see how many people defend it. That was the weirdest part to me, and I really think it's because they've just bought into it and then feel trapped, like they have to keep supporting it, otherwise it was all for nothing. But yeah, I just had to rant about looksmaxxing a little bit. I've spent too long in the rabbit hole to not talk about it a little further past the Jelqing video. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. I'm sure all of you have noticed that self-improvement videos have become extremely popular on YouTube. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. I totally understand that since so many people in society are more isolated now from other human beings than ever, oftentimes they'll turn their attention to the internet to get like some basic advice on certain things, and I get that it can be helpful to some people, but it's become a huge market and that's made it ripe for exploitation. So there's been this rise in AI-generated self-improvement gurus, and they all make the exact same video with the exact same life hacks. So you want to get a woman? Well, you need to be a high-value man, an alpha male. That means brushing your teeth, combing your hair, eat well, sleep well, go to the gym. You'll be drowning in sodden beef curtains in no time if you follow this advice that no one else is telling you, because no one wants you to know it. They want to keep you in the dark as a sad cuck beta male. And it's just that shit over and over and over again. And I wanted to show one channel that I found today that had me giggling, that is the embodiment of this entire trend. It's a channel called Far From Weak, and it's a picture of Kratos, and the guy behind it isn't using an AI voice like all of the other channels. It's his actual voice, but he puts a filter on it to artificially deepen it so it sounds more like Kratos and more masculine. And not to immediately start taking shots here, but to me that sounds far from strong. You're afraid to use your real voice for fear of ridicule, so instead you use effects to make it sound deeper than it is. To me that sounds pretty weak, but let's go ahead and go over his most popular video here.
There are guys out there that attract the highest quality of girls, and they do so effortlessly. On the other side, you will find many guys that can't get laid, and that is why they are bitter.
He makes it sound so haunting, like he's the Zodiac killer or something, and he's trying so hard to make his voice deeper so that way it's helping with the pitch shifting to bring it down so it sounds a little more natural. So he's getting up in there and letting it get real raspy. Here are the secret 3 tips to getting so much pussy your cock will fall off.
The truth is that girls can make life more fun. It is always good to focus on yourself, but you have to stay honest with yourself. Don't start blaming girls for your own shortcomings. Instead, learn from videos like this one and become better with them in real life.
I have absolutely no doubt that he has ChatGPT generate these scripts because every single video plays out almost exactly like this on all of the other channels that do this kind of content. By far the most popular subject covered by these channels is like this: how to get girls. The ultimate tutorial on getting women. So you want to fuck like an alpha male? Here's how. And it's the same points every single time, and all of those videos are so popular, which is extremely sad because what that means is there's a bunch of really lonely dudes out there that just keep watching these same videos over and over again, somehow expecting to like get all of those skills through osmosis. Like just by watching it, it's going to make them more equipped at getting a woman without ever actually implementing any change in their life. It's not even terrible advice every time either. Like there, don't blame women. Look more introspectively. But that's not groundbreaking information. That's not like a eureka moment, like, oh, it was my fault all along. Like, I feel like deep down, everyone who watches these videos knows that they have to grab the bull by the horns and do it themselves. And they've been told that millions and millions and millions of times. Why keep feeding into the AI content farm here to hear it again? It's like going to these videos for affirmations, like, okay, I do need to make a change, and then not doing it, and then going and watching another, like, Chad Energy Aura video tutorial. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Number 1. High energy. Women are attracted to energetic, confident men. They crave a man that is oozing with confidence and is overflowing with energy.
Who doesn't know that? It's not just women that like that, it's human beings in general. No one likes someone that's just going to slink away into the shadows acting like some kind of downtrodden weirdo. Everyone likes someone that's confident. Everyone knows that. High energy, people like that too. Not necessarily the way he portrays it here with like a gorilla banging on its chest to attract females. Like, people don't like that level of energy where you're just out there like a fucking bozo screaming and shouting and hooting and hollering. But everyone knows that confidence matters a lot in life. And I am 100% certain that everyone in the audience that turns to these self-improvement AI creators knows that. So I don't know why they keep coming back to it to keep hearing that they need to be more confident without ever really doing anything of their own. Maybe they just really like watching the anime montage and the random movie clips montage, perhaps. Like maybe that's the draw.
When I say this, I'm not saying to act like a clown or behave like a fool. Think of the alpha gorilla that gets all the females. Because the silverback is the powerful leader, full of energy and strength. If challenged by a younger or even by an outsider male, a silverback will scream, beat his chest, bare his teeth, and then charge forward.
I love how all of these channels always pull from the animal kingdom, either the gorillas or lions is another really popular one. Why does the lion fuck, but you don't? What separates you from the lion? Here's the breakdown. This one's using the gorilla. The gorilla has a ton of energy. It's the powerful leader. When challenged, it'll charge forward, beating its chest and screaming. It's like, yeah, it's a super cool, fun fact here, but the example isn't necessary. That's not going to be the selling point to someone watching this. That's not going to be the eye-opener. Like, nah, this guy's full of baloney. What a bunch of horseradish. No way confidence matters at all. And then the gorilla segment comes on, he's like blown away. Whoa! So I guess confidence does matter. Look at the gorillas. Okay, I guess I'm gonna emulate that. From now on, anytime I feel threatened out in society, I'm just gonna scream, "Ah!" and start charging at them. And then I'll get women.
And even happily serve as playmates for excitable infants. Let me be very clear. There are alphas amongst us humans too, and they always have higher energy than beta males. This is a very important part of thriving as a man, and you will not hear many people talk about it.
The zoology lesson goes on longer than anything else he talks about here, just focusing on the gorilla behavior, because I imagine ChatGPT really went in depth on it, so he just put the whole thing in here to pad the runtime, and then he tries to tie it all back. So there are alphas among humans too, and they have high energy and confidence. Won't hear many people talk about it. Except for every single other content farm that makes this exact type of slop. Like, that is the most preached thing ever in this category.
You can boost your energy for free by working out, getting sunlight, and getting good sleep.
No shit, you don't say. By doing like the basic human necessities, you can boost your energy? Wow.
Number 2, be charismatic. Charismatic men are perceived as both likable and powerful, a dynamic, irresistible combination that drives women insane and makes them obsessed.
Another absolute bombshell of information you won't hear anyone else talk about. Be charismatic. Like, Jesus Christ. I'm almost 100% sure the reason these videos always have so many views isn't even really people looking for any kind of legitimately good advice or anything. It's people in a desperate situation to find companionship and looking for some kind of cheat code or some kind of, like, glitch that they can use to find a soulmate without putting in any work of their own. So they click on these videos expecting something new, some little nugget of wisdom that might actually help them, but they just keep getting fed the same advice every single time. Granted, it's not bad advice, like having confidence and charisma is extremely important, but that's not why people are clicking on the video. Everyone knows that shit. I really feel like the reason they get engagement is because it's people truly searching for this fucking, like, I don't know, super soldier potion like Captain America so they can overnight be the Adonis they dream of.
To be charismatic, you have to be able to listen more than you talk. This will make you more mysterious, and it makes the other person feel important and good about themselves. Ask questions, maintain eye contact, smile, frown, nod, respond.
This is like some kind of program that would be used by aliens to try and help them figure out what human expression is like. No shit. When you're in a conversation, you should be engaging with it. Obviously. Now, the advice about listening more than you talk, I think that's legitimately good advice. Not because it builds you up as some kind of mysterious anime character or whatever, but because that's just a genuinely good thing to do, so that way you can process what's being talked about and legitimately conversate about it, as opposed to just overpowering the other person in this conversation where you treat it like some kind of war. Again, that's not even like an incorrect point to make. It's just a point that's been made a billion times before, and it's just being pumped out by AI self-improvement gurus out the wazoo, and they're making tons of money off it.
Number 3, smell good, dress good. While we're taught not to judge a book by its cover, first impressions always matter.
Zoinks! You don't say. Smell good, huh? Who would have guessed that that would be important in getting ladies? You're telling me you can't run around smelling like turbo ass? Gonna have to take notes there so I remember that. That's big. What a huge revelation there. Broke new ground. And then dress good? You gotta dress well? Oh man. This is big stuff.
The first step to smelling good is to not smell bad. Make sure you take care of your hygiene, shower every day, and use some natural form of soap. Make sure your mouth hygiene is good.
I've said this before, but YouTubers have become like parents to a lot of their audience. This is just telling you the most basic shit you've ever heard in your life. The trick to smelling good is not smelling bad. Who is this, Socrates? Man, this wisdom is profound. Really makes you stop and think. But anyway, there's no, you get the point. There's no reason for me to keep going through the videos. You get what the channel is.
I have to go away for a while. This isn't clickbait or some pathetic attempt to get views. I will actually vanish by the end of this video.
He has to go away for a while because he's being hunted by the Illuminati shadow government that's trying to take him down for being too powerful and revealing the secrets on how to get laid. So this is his goodbye video, and in it he talks about the movement, which he is extremely proud of and wants to continue to spread the movement.
Our movement is better than that. Besides, I have many other faceless channels that bring in consistent money even when I sleep. There's no reason for me to milk content since money is of no concern to me. So, the question is, what would take our movement to the next level?
His movement is just basic ChatGPT self-improvement advice. The most by-the-numbers, basic surface-level shit you could ever imagine in terms of how to help yourself. That's it. That's his movement. But what he drops here is something I find very interesting. He claims to have many other faceless channels just like this one that are generating a ton of income for him. And I believe it. I would imagine he has an entire network of channels just like this because you can spit these videos out super quick and super easy. I imagine he doesn't even use his voice for the other ones. He probably does just use canned AI voices, which makes it even lower lift and even bigger return. Less time, more money. That's exactly the kind of world we're entering into in the digital space. We're seeing it a lot with shorts right now. That's been a huge talking point for a lot of people recently, is all of the AI generated shorts. YouTube recently rolled out something where you have to click to disclose whether or not the video is AI generated content. It's supposed to help viewers distinguish real from synthetic content. And that is going to be something that's going to get really tricky down the line too. And this guy is far from the only one that's doing this. There's actually tons of people that are super open about their AI usage and content farm. So I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was a shorts creator who was talking about how he's making 15 to 20K a month just by using ChatGPT to generate things like top 10 reptile facts. And then the only thing he has to do is compile random reptile videos that he finds on YouTube, throw it into a short, and he's making a ton of money doing that. This guy is doing it for self-improvement. He's just taking like the most general self-improvement topics, how to get women, how to be more attractive, what alpha males do versus beta males, that kind of thing. It generates the script, and then all he has to do is just randomly grab anime moments and movie moments and put them into the video, and that's it. Ship it. And he says he has tons of other channels that do similar things to make him tons of money. There's a lot of people that are doing this now. And it's something that is only growing in popularity. It is so fucking dystopian, and I just had to talk about it a little bit here. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. I've stumbled across the creepiest dating coach the cyberspace has ever seen. He's like a Galactus-level threat to getting laid. Like, if you ever wanted to ensure every woman is frightened of you, follow his advice. But also, if you want to follow his advice, make sure you got your piggy bank ready to turn over because you got to pay for his course on it. This is his slogan: alpha dominance in dating, rise above the rest. And then if you scroll down on his homepage, it says, navigate the fog when it comes to women. It's time to level up. Now, I'm going to show you all the videos he's been posting to try and drive sales to his picking up women course, the steaming ham tutorial step-by-step guide. And he's pretty much exactly what you're picturing right now after reading It's Time to Level Up. He legitimately looks and speaks like a Redditor who's just reading off of old Ask Reddit pages from 12 years ago.
You do not have to accept her rejection.
You couldn't script a worse start to this lesson. You don't have to accept her rejection. Brother, that's like the #1 thing you should accept, not just with women, but with people in general. Nobody likes the pushy douchebag that refuses to take no for an answer. The guy's out here cosplaying as a car salesman, treating romance like it's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel. No, I will not allow this to happen because I have this trap card. The conversation will continue whether you like it or not.
I'm a professional dating coach and I teach guys how to understand the female mind. Now, if you're one of the people that haven't applied anything in my course or my videos or anything like that, this video is not for you. This is an advanced technique.
This ain't your grandma's flirting no more. This ain't Weenie Hut Juniors. This is forbidden jutsu. While you were out partying, he was inside, studying the techniques, and he's bestowing upon us his sage wisdom with the advanced stuff. This is a man who has mastered the female mind, and he's sharing all of its secrets with us and telling us all the techniques to make it bend to our will.
You don't have to accept her rejection. Now, here's an example. I was talking to a girl, and she said, oh, I'm not really interested. And I, instead of just going, okay, and then just turning away, I did this. Why would you not be interested in me? I'm the best.
It's genius! The chosen one! Lisan Al-Gaib! How could we have not thought of that technique? Whoa! Instead of just accepting when a girl isn't into you, you say, wait, but you should be. No, you! He's done it! He's cracked the code! His midichlorian count is beyond our comprehension. Behold, the patron saint of pussy has come! Yes! So instead of accepting a rejection, you keep pestering her about you being the best. If that's not the most cringe shit in the world, I don't know what is.
Absolutely the best. And she's like, oh, how? I'm like, well, you'd have to come over to my house to find out. And you'd also have to be okay with kink, and you'd also have to be okay with my mastery of the ropes and the fact I have multiple women. And actually, maybe not. Maybe you wouldn't be the best for me.
Yeah, fucking right, dweeb. She'd see through that lie so quickly. The only thing you're best at is top lane one-trick Teemo in your fucking anime club Discord group. No shot that would ever work in a real situation. If you said that to a living, breathing human being in the real world, she would be so immediately creeped out by you, she'd be running away, fucking screaming for help. Going up to a stranger who has just rejected you and then saying you're the best and the only way she'll find out how is if she comes over and has to be into kink and all of that. What fantasy are you living in? You're so fucking porn-brained if you think that would ever work on just a total stranger. It makes you sound like a serial killer, like she'd go over and it'd be a scene out of Dexter's early seasons, fucking plastic put up everywhere as you're about to dismember her. She'd have to be okay with your mastering of the ropes and your multiple women. A, saying multiple women in this context makes it sound like multiple victims more than anything, and B, I don't know who put this into the heads of some, like, really desperate men, but most women don't like to hear that you're fucking a ton of other women, too. Like, that's not really a turn-on or anything. I know that a lot of delusional dudes think it makes them seem more desirable to women, like, oh, it's okay if you tell me no, I have, like, 16 other women that will tell me yes. Your loss, I suppose. But it's not really, like, a flex or anything. It seems super weird. It is super weird.
She started going back and forth with me, and I started building attraction in that because now I had sidestepped her fucking rejection. Granted, keep in mind, I didn't force it. I didn't say, no, you're gonna... I just played into her little fucking game. I knew she was playing with me a little bit, or just kind of disengaging, and I gave her a little bit of fun. You want to know what I did with her later?
Of all of the things in the world that have never happened, that has never happened the most. That is the most didn't happen shit of all time. What a bunch of baloney. Actual horseradish on this story. Just a blatant lie trying to get dudes to buy into this fantasy that he's selling, to try and go to his website and give him money for the worst advice you'll ever hear. So, if you do go to his website and check out, like, why you should buy it, there's a nugget of wisdom in there that I can't help but share. But according to him and nobody else, he basically can't leave the house without having thousands of sodden panties tossed at him from women that are vying for his cock. So if you go to why you should purchase the course and what you get, he says, proven results, with over 100,000 Tinder matches in 2 years, which is an outrageous number. He's fucking entire cities worth of women. Like, your girlfriend has probably been with this guy. In fact, ask your mom right now if she cheated on your father with this guy. I bet if you walked up to any woman on the street right now and said his name, they'd have a Winter Soldier moment going through it. Now, I'm not saying his name because I'm not trying to have people, like, harass him, but I'm fighting a really strong urge to not mention his name because it's so fucking silly. His name is Alpha plus his name. It's actually kind of adorable. He calls himself the Alpha. But anyway, as well as a little over 1,000 women in his dating lifestyle and multiple women currently with him. So he's not in a monogamous relationship. A guy like this with 100,000 Tinder matches, he has entire harems with him at all times, slobbering on his cock. His cock is never in his pants. It's always in someone else's mouth or pussy. The methods are time-tested and proven not just by him, but also by his clients across multiple types of men. These methods just work. Don't settle for mediocrity in your dating life. Embrace the alpha mindset and unleash your true potential to attract the partners you desire. Cracking the alpha dating mind will equip you with skills, mindset, and charisma to become a dominant force in the dating world. Gain the confidence, magnetism, and success you deserve in every romantic pursuit. Invest in yourself. Unleash your alpha potential today. I mean, my credit card's already flying out of my wallet right now. I need to unlock my alpha potential.
Ask a girl, can I get your number? She said, no, I just got out of a relationship and I don't know if I'm ready to date or whatever. And I handed her my phone and said, go ahead, type it in. It'll be fine.
Another story more fake than the Tooth Fairy here, but the way that he tells this story is haunting. I'm getting chills listening to it, like I feel threatened.
We can get Chardonnay, we can talk like girlfriends and talk about your old relationship with this guy. We're not going to do that, but it's going to be okay. Another example. Once again, not forcing it, not being super aggressive. She can say no again, which at that point I would have disengaged. But guess what she didn't do? Didn't say no. And that was the first time it happened. And then I did it again and again and again and again and again. And most of them ended up coming over my house, ended up sleeping with me. You just gotta know how to do it correctly.
I can see how he had 100,000 Tinder matches and has multiple women that he's with at all times. He is a smooth operator here. I admit I was skeptical at first, but after hearing this expertise, it's clear. There's not going to be any vagina left in the world for the rest of us men, now that he's out there on the prowl. Lord help us all.
Here's something I need you to do. I need you to enter the female mind for a second.
Oh, okay, yes sir. Oh man, he's delivering an order. Alright, I'll try and jack into the female mind real quick. Oh god, it's so scary in here! Alpha, pull me out, I don't know what I'm doing, I need your guidance! I'm
a professional dating coach and I teach guys how to understand the female mind. Now, this will help you get more numbers because you gotta fucking understand how their mind works and what they go through every day. Imagine if every fucking day of your life you were approached for about 45 times, which is the number that I've come up with my extensive study.
Very scientific gathering methods, I'm sure. Yes, I've approximately calculated that every single woman is approached roughly 45.3, repeating of course, times per day. Now, since you're in the female mind, since I've instructed you to do so, you'll recognize the mental burden that this takes on the female mind, of which I, your dating coach Alpha, have mastered.
Things like, why don't you give me yours, is a fucking thing that's going to weed out 95% of the spineless males that aren't persistent, that aren't fucking clever, that aren't witty, that can't have fun with her.
Yeah, those beta cucks. Not like Alpha here, who's so clever and witty he came up with the absolutely nefarious, diabolical, even, genius method of saying, hey, I'm the best. Whoa, man, he's good. To give him more credit, there was more to it. I'm the best. And you can only find out by coming over and being okay with my mastery of the ropes, the blade, and be kinky. Also, give me your number so we can talk about your ex-boyfriend. Really good stuff. Like, actually very good stuff. I see why it's so effective now that I'm in the female mind.
And there's a reason she does it. Without being extremely forceful, sidestep it. Like I just said in the last 2 videos. You're welcome.
Disregard everything the woman wants. You do what you want, and you don't accept rejection. This guy's good. I see it now.
Let's talk about my nails. I'm a professional dating coach, and I teach guys how to understand the female mind. Here's the thing. If you think this thing you learned in high school, or that, is the best way to get a girl to, oh my God, to an O, Jesus Christ.
Not even God could have mercy on your soul if you had that belief. Alpha's about to tear that shit down and blast your ass with real knowledge on how to get a girl to an O. And you can tell he's reliable because he's wearing his sunglasses and his leather jacket with the collar popped. So you know he just finished a threesome with 2 supermodels right before hopping in this car right now. And he's taking time out of his busy day of fucking mashing pissers with the hottest women on the planet to try and teach us barbarians how we can be even an iota of the man that Alpha is.
I can drag my fingers down a girl's back and cause one. If you don't know what a TO is, I can't go into, you should know them. TO and AO, Skino, especially a mental O. If you've never given a girl a mental O, gotta tell ya, you're a kiddie league. Stepping into the arena with the pros, and you have no idea what you're doing.
You disgusting coward. You're a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck. Yeah, you're in the junior leagues. You're not ready for the men's Thunderdome. If you don't know what a TO is, which he refuses to elaborate on and gets really hung up on, so it makes me wonder if he knows what it is. But if you don't know what that is, even if you're not familiar with this nomenclature, you're already fucked. If you've never given a girl a mental O, hoo-wee, you stink, brother. But yeah, so I was trying to like analyze these terms because I've never heard them before. So putting together context clues, I think a TO is a titty orgasm. I think an AO is an anal orgasm. Fucking, I've never heard these before. TO, AO, Cheerio, which is a breakfast cereal. Like, who uses those terms?
Guy, sorry. Little tip. Put a glove on with a long nail and rake. Not hard. You're welcome.
Now, this is going to come as a shock to all of you watching this, and you're probably not going to believe me, but it's the truth. Somehow, people on TikTok were making fun of this guy, so he responded to the haters.
So, I'm going to try to gain composure in this one. I've filmed this video way too many fucking times.
No, you didn't. That's an absolute lie. You're trying to put on a strong face because you're the alpha, but it's pretty clear the comments and what people are saying got to you, got under your skin, and you're making this as a strong response to it where you're laughing in their face. But the laugh is so unbelievably forced and fake, it's very clear. This shit looks like some kind of high school drama club audition laugh.
But I kind of want to show you guys. I kind of want to show you the elite level of hate that I'm dealing with. Oh, dude, look. I am literally. That's fucking real fucking cry laughing. All right.
He just has a full-blown Joker meltdown. This app deserves a new class of dating coach, and I'm gonna give it to him. Yeah, that's kind of just the whole video response where he's like, I can't believe all this hate. You guys are giving me fame. You playing right into the palm of my hands type shit. But anyway, you get the idea. Just another dog shit dating coach scam looking to capitalize off of people's insecurity and desperation to try and find a partner. Just wanted to talk about it a little bit. That's it. See ya.